Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Nathan Cookson. I'm the Portfolio Manager at Pearson. My remit at Pearson is product management, responsible for apprenticeships and work-based learning provision within two key sectors for Pearson, one being business, which covers the cross-sector products, for example, customer service, business administration, management and leadership, and other products within apprenticeships, work-based learning and content that covers the generic cross-sector areas. In addition, I also cover the digital sector, again, apprenticeships and work-based learning provision within that sector. Thank you for joining today. Today's webinar is really to talk about SASE transition in England only, and our particular focus will be on Pearson products and services that will be available to support you in that transition from SASE apprenticeships to new standards when we hit that critical date on the 1st of August 2020. And as covered, it's to highlight the various products and services and qualifications that are available to you both now and from the 1st of August 2020 to support you in that transition from frameworks to standards. So starting first, we're going to cover the business administration route. You'll see from this presentation that we've classified each of our areas within the various routes that are covered within the apprenticeship sector. So the first one is looking at the business administration route. As you can see here, there are three current SASE apprenticeship frameworks within the business administration sector, and they are the intermediate at level 2, the advanced at level 3, and the higher apprenticeship in business and professional administration at level 4. You'll see from this slide that there is no replacement standard at level 2. And there is no replacement standard at level 4. Following close dialogue with the employer group and the IFATE, there is no intention currently to develop a new standard at either level 2 and either level 4. However, it's our intention at Pearson that we will continue to maintain our level 2 qualification provision. So the level 2 diploma in business administration. At the same time, we also will maintain our level 4 business administration provision whilst that transition takes place. Currently, those qualifications are available until August 2021, and we will review the uptake of those qualifications in terms of learner numbers as we get closer to those dates. What I would like to highlight is at level 2, we do have alternative provision, both in competency-based qualifications, for example, the level 2 diploma, and also knowledge-based qualifications that can be delivered in a short course type program. And in the future weeks and months, we will be doing some marketing and communication to share those products with customers. Where there is continued provision is at the advanced level apprenticeships in business administration, so the level 3 framework. So there is a replacement standard, and it's been around for a couple of years now, and that's the business administrator level 3 standard. As you'll be aware, within the business sector, that there are no mandated qualifications in the majority of the new apprenticeship standards. However, to support customers and apprentices within the on-program phase of the apprenticeship standard, and to support centres in terms of delivery, we have created two qualifications. We've created the Pearson BTEC Level 3 Certificate for Business Administrators and the Pearson BTEC Level 3 Diploma for Business Administrators. These are on-program optional qualifications that have been designed to support that on-program phase, and they are available now. Moving on to the management and leadership sector. That also is covered within the business administrative route, starting with the intermediate level 2 apprenticeship at level 2, we have the advanced level framework at level 3, we have the higher apprenticeships both at level 4 and level 5, and they're the first 4 rows on this slide. You'll see that there is no replacement provision in terms of new standard at both level 2 and level 4. similarly to business administration, those qualifications, as existing qualifications, are due to be reviewed by the end of August 2021, and we will be undertaking that process shortly to make a decision whether those qualifications will be extended or whether a decision is made to retire those qualifications. But as it currently stands, they are still available for learner registrations outside of apprenticeships once we hit that 1st of August deadline until August 2021. Where there is a replacement standard, you'll see is at level 3, and I'm sure you're already aware by now that whilst it is a level 3 replacement standard, the wording has changed from management to team leader stroke supervisor. And similarly, again, to business administration, there is no mandated qualification, although the standards does highly recommend the undertaking of an on-program qualification. What Pearson have created is the level 3 certificate for managers and the level 3 diploma for managers. For those who are not aware of the differences between the certificate and the diploma, and this is a reoccurring theme throughout this entire deck, is that the certificate targets the knowledge elements of the apprenticeship standard and some areas of behaviours, whereas the level 3 diplomas, or the diplomas at any level where we've created a replacement qualification, the diplomas cover the full apprenticeship standard, so they support both the delivery of knowledge but also the assessment and evidence gathering of the skills and the behaviours. And as you'll see there, for level 3, the team leader supervisor replacement standard, those qualifications are available now, and the standard is available for endpoint assessment through Pearson. Again, at level 5, you'll see that there is a replacement. It's the operations stroke departmental manager at level 5. Similarly to level 3, we have created those 2 optional on-program qualifications to support the knowledge, but also to support the skills, the knowledge and the behaviours together. And they are available now. Nesting at the bottom of this slide, you'll see that Pearson, we do have some provision in SASE frameworks in recruitment. And in terms of the advanced level apprenticeship, which is at level 3, there is a replacement standard called recruitment consultant. Pearson have made a decision to not engage in this area going forward. So there is no replacement qualification or standard in terms of endpoint assessment that Pearson will be offering. Those recruitment qualifications, so those SASE qualifications, they have a operational review date of August 2021. So what we will do is we will continue those qualifications until they reach that review date, and we will make a decision at that point in terms of their continued use. I think it's quite likely at this stage that the recommendation will be to withdraw those qualifications as we reach August 2021. So that covers the business administration route. Moving on to sales, marketing and procurement. So there is provision in terms of customer service at both levels 2 and level 3. So replacing the intermediate level apprenticeship in customer service is the customer service practitioner level 2, and replacing the advanced level apprenticeship in customer service at level 3 is the customer service specialist level 3 standard. Pearson are offering endpoint assessment in both of those areas. And in addition, we have again created the optional qualifications to support that on-program phase, both in terms of the knowledge, but also the knowledge, skills and behaviours. And you'll see there we have the level 2 certificate for customer service practitioners and the diploma to support the customer service practitioner standard. And at level 3, we have the recently published qualification several months ago for customer service specialists, both the certificate and the diploma. So full provision is available now in customer service to transition from SAFe frameworks to replacement standards. So moving on to sales, marketing and contact centres. You'll see that in terms of level 2 and level 3 provision, there are no replacement standards for sales, marketing, sales and contact centres at levels 2 and 3. In terms of marketing, there is no replacement at level 2, but there are various options at level 3. So in terms of sales, again, it's a very similar message. At this stage, Pearson are not engaging in new standards in those areas. However, the SASE qualifications are due for review at the end of August 2021. So 1 year after the SASE framework registrations close. It's our intention to continue those qualifications until we reach August 2021, at which point make a decision whether those qualifications will continue based upon demand. And again, that's the same for contact center operations. So there is no replacement standard provision through Pearson, but those qualifications, should you wish to undertake them as a standalone provision, will continue to be available for at least another year and a half. In terms of marketing, there is no replacement provision at level 2 in terms of the intermediate level apprenticeship in marketing. However, there is various provision available at level 3 and beyond in terms of new apprenticeship standards. For Pearson, we've only engaged at level 3. There is a marketing assistant level 3 apprenticeship standard available, but unfortunately, Pearson, we have not decided to engage in that area. Where we have engaged in terms of replacing level 3 provision is in the digital marketeer level 3 new apprenticeship standard. We are in the process of developing our endpoint assessment materials for that standard, and they'll be available by May 2020. In addition to that, we have created 3 on-program qualifications. The Pearson Level 3 Award in Principles of Coding, the Level 3 Award in Digital Marketing Business Principles, and the Level 3 Award in Marketing Principles. If you are familiar with the Digital Marketeer Standard, there is a mandated requirement within that standard that a learner completes 3 knowledge modules during the on-program phase. They can do this by either undertaking a specific vendor certificate that aligns to those knowledge modules. Alternatively, they can undertake a Ofqual accredited qualification that aligns to those knowledge modules. And Pearson, we have created those 3 qualifications that are aligned directly to those knowledge modules and satisfy the criteria for on-program achievement, and each of those qualifications are assessed via an on-screen assessment. Details can be found on the Pearson website. So we have full provision in the digital marketeer level 3 standard to replace the SASE framework in marketing. So moving on to the more retail focused standards. As it currently stands, Pearson have active provisioning frameworks at both level 2 and level 3 for trade supplier and funeral team member and funeral director. We've made a decision that we will not be engaging in new standards in each of those areas, and identically to the other areas that we've covered in this webinar, the qualifications, so those qualifications that are in the SASE framework have a review date of August 2021. We will continue to offer those qualifications until August 2021, at which point our decision will be that we withdraw those qualifications and exit from both the trade supplier and the funeral operations and services sector. In terms of retail, I mean, the new retail standards have been available for a long time, to such an extent that the SASE frameworks have already been withdrawn. So there is provision available in terms of the intermediate level 2 apprenticeship in retail and the advanced level 3 apprenticeship in retail in terms of retail level 2 and retail team leader level 3. Unfortunately, Pearson, we've taken the decision very recently that we will be exiting the retail sector. So there is no replacement qualification or endpoint assessment standard available through Pearson, although there are alternative provision out there in the sector. And finally, covering the business sector is the legal, financing and accounting route. So currently, Pearson offer SASE apprenticeship frameworks at level 2 and at level 3 in providing financial services and the various pathways within that, within those frameworks. There are multiple replacement standards available in the financial services sector and the legal sector and the accountancy sector. So multiple standards from level 3 all the way to professional level standards at level 7. Pearson, again, we've made a decision that we will not be engaging in the financial services sector following the withdrawal of SASE framework. So the providing financial services qualifications will continue until August 2020. So whilst the frameworks close from the 1st of August 2020, and there has to be full transition to new standards, Pearson's qualifications cease at the end of August 2020. So there'll be 1 month period where any additional registrations can be made to those qualifications. But following the 31st of August 2020, we will be withdrawing the providing financial services sector, and there'll be no further provision in terms of apprenticeships within this area from Pearson. So moving on to digital. In terms of the IT user area, so the intermediate apprenticeship for IT application specialist and the advanced apprenticeship for IT application specialist, there is no replacement standard at level 2 and level 3 that directly replaces the IT application specialist sector. The primary reason for that is because of the requirement that a new apprenticeship standard aligns to a very specific job occupation, and it is deemed that the IT application specialist is not a very specific job occupation. So therefore, there will be no replacement standard to replace those frameworks from the 1st of August 2020. Pearson's qualifications are due to expire in terms of IT users at the end of December 2020. At this point in time, it's our intention to withdraw those qualifications at the end of December 2020, in that we feel there'll be no or very minimal use of those qualifications once the SASE frameworks are retired for IT application specialists. Moving on then to the Procom area. So what I mean there is the intermediate, advanced and higher apprenticeship for IT software, web and telecom professionals. So similar to level 2 in terms of IT application specialist, there is no level 2 replacement digital apprenticeship standard. And those qualifications, that level 2 Procom qualification is due to be reviewed at the end of December 2020. However, we have had some demand in terms of learner activity outside of apprenticeship, so non-apprentice learners. So it's our intention that whilst the apprenticeship framework will expire from the 1st of August 2020, we will extend those qualifications approximately for the further 2 years to assess the level of demand for those qualifications at level 2. In terms of level 3 and level 4 and beyond, the digital sector is very similar to the legal financial accountancy in that there are a vast amount of replacement standards that have been developed aligned to very, very specific job roles, job occupations within the digital sector. So there are multiple standards available within the digital sector. At this current point in time, Pearson are not offering endpoint assessment in those new digital standards on the basis that there are some changes occurring in terms of the digital apprenticeship review and the changes to those standards. However, within many of the replacement standards, there is a requirement for the achievement of knowledge modules to be achieved in order to meet the requirements of the on-program phase. And what we've done here at Pearson is we've created a number of level 3 and level 4 qualifications that align to those knowledge modules. And you'll see in the 3rd column here the list of those qualifications. I'm not going to go through line by line, but similarly to digital marketing, what those qualifications do, they're directly mapped to the knowledge modules of various digital replacement standards. I'm sorry about that. It seems that we had a audio issue. So to continue, We have created those knowledge qualifications that map to the knowledge modules. They are all assessed by on-screen tests, and achievement of those Pearson qualifications meet the knowledge module of each of those standards at level 3 and level 4. Alternatively, apprentices do and centres do have the option of undertaking vendor certificates that have the same purpose. So in terms of level 4 and level 3 Procom, we have optional qualifications, but at this current stage in time, we do not have endpoint assessment available. In terms of the existing SASE qualifications, for level 3, so for the Advanced Apprenticeship for IT Software, Web and Telecoms Professionals, it's our intention to extend that level 3 qualification on the basis that, similar to level 2, there is that demand for learner registrations and the need for that qualification outside of apprenticeships. So it's our intention that we will extend that qualification for a further 2 years when it is due for review at the end of December 2020, the end of December this year. At level 4, we will be retiring that qualification, so withdrawing that qualification when the end of December arises, on the basis that there is minimal learner demand at level 4 for that qualification once the SASE framework expires. So next steps from the 1st of August 2020. So this is essentially just a recap, so that the message is absolutely clear. So SASE apprenticeship frameworks in England are due for withdrawal at the end of July 2020. So from the 1st of August 2020, any new apprenticeship starts will have to be on apprenticeship standards as opposed to those frameworks. And just to recap, we are only covering England in this webinar. Frameworks in Wales and Northern Ireland will continue, and my recommendation is that you contact your business development manager or your customer service contact for further information around those areas. But in terms of a very quick recap of what new standards are, they're written directly by employer-led groups, often called trailblazer groups. So a group of employers that represent the sector of all sizes, from large organizations all the way down to SMEs. And what they do is they define the knowledge, skills and behaviors that a individual needs to be occupational competent within a specific job roles. And what this is allowing employers to identify those relevant skills, knowledge and behaviors, and bringing apprenticeships, future-proofing apprenticeships to those skills, knowledge and behaviors that industry needs. In addition to that, it provides apprentices with a clear pathway to progression in terms of further apprenticeship standards, job roles, or additional routes that apprentices may wish to take. Those standards tend to be 1 to 2 pages long and incorporate at a high level the requirements of the standard. Supporting that is the assessment plan, and what the assessment plan is it provides the framework for endpoint assessment. So that independent assessment undertaken by an independent assessor against those knowledge, skills and behaviours that are contained within the apprenticeship standard. And each of those assessment plans are very much tailored to the requirement of the apprenticeship. The minimum duration in terms of apprenticeship is 12 months, and that the maximum duration is determined by the complexity of the job role and those knowledge, skills and behaviours that need to be acquired, learnt and evidenced by apprentices. But after that period of time, endpoint assessment takes place, and this is an independent assessment of the achievement of those knowledge, skills and behaviours, and aligns to the content of the assessment plan. So very different to apprenticeship frameworks, whereby they are qualification based, and there's that continuous assessment throughout the apprenticeship programme. So that still takes place within apprenticeship standards, plus that independent assessment in that endpoint assessment phase. To support you with the transition, Pearson, we do have our apprenticeship web pages, and I will click on this link to hopefully it works to show you those apprenticeship pages. So here within the Pearson Apprenticeship website, you'll be able to access a variety of information, downloads, videos, content to support you both in apprenticeship frameworks, whether that's in England, Northern Ireland, Wales, in addition to that transition to apprenticeship standards. And you'll also to be able to find Pearson's information around new apprenticeship standards. So if you follow the Find a Standard, it will take you to your various routes. If you click on one of those, so business administrative route, you'll see the 3 standards that Pearson currently offer in terms of endpoint assessment within business administration, team leader, supervisor, and operational manager. So if you click one of those, here you'll be able to access the detailed information that Pearson provide around those areas. So within the On Program tab, you will see information around the qualifications, the on-program qualifications that Pearson deliver, and you'll be able to download the specification. If you click the Endpoint Assessment tab, you'll be able to download Pearson's Endpoint Assessment specification for that, which contains information around our approach to endpoint assessment, and that's available for each of the areas we are engaging with. So coming out of that, and that wraps up our webinar. So it was a high-level overview of transitioning from SASE to new apprenticeship standards and the various products that are available in each of the sectors within business and digital that Pearson support. We do have a variety of support on offer. In the first instance, if you have any questions or queries, or you want to follow up any information around this webinar, my recommendation is that you contact your named business development manager. Alternatively, our customer service team can be contacted on 0344 576 0045 or email on the email address provided there. So thank you very much for your time, and we will be in contact shortly.